Hey guys, my name is Doc Shell, also known as. So, in lesson 5.5, we are talking about exponents and radicals. And these are things like x squared, 5 squared, taking the square root of something. Later on, we're going to be talking about the Pythagorean theorem that deals with radicals and square roots. So, as always, our questions start easier and get harder because I'm a teacher and I'm trying to build your knowledge. But just stay with me and I got you. Make sure you have paper and pencil. When it comes to exponents, there are certain exponent rules and you do need to know these. So when we look at the problem, we're deciding, okay, are we multiplying exponents together like you'll see in number 1? And if that's the case, we add the exponents. If we're dividing variables with exponents, we actually subtract the exponents. Going down here, if you see on the left, anytime we raise an exponent to a power, we multiply. So I am going to break this down for you super basic just to help you understand why. But then in the future numbers, we're going to just go for it. All right. So if we look here, we have x cubed times x to the 4th. Now, if you know the rule, it's just going to be x to the 3 plus 4, which is x to the 7th. Done. But let me explain why. X cubed is the same thing as saying x times x times x. X to the 4th is the same thing as saying x times x times x times x. X cubed, x to the 4th. How many x's are there altogether? 7. But we're multiplying them by itself. So that's why it's not 7x. That would be 7 times x. This is, we have 7 x's, so that's why it's x to the 7th, because we multiply x by itself 7 times. Over here, the rule above is whenever we're dividing, we just subtract the exponents. So our answer is y5. But let me explain why it works that way. Here we have 8 y's on the top. On the bottom, we have 3 y's. So just regular canceling, like remember when we had 2/4, we could go like this and simplify it to 1/2. We just cross one up, cross one up, cross, 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 cross. How many are left? 5, y to the 5th. Now we're taking a cubed and squaring that. So the rule is we multiply the exponents. So our answer is a to the 6th. But if I said to you, what's 5 times 5? And that's 5 squared, we know that we're separating these out. So the reason why we multiply them is this is saying a cubed times a cubed. And we know that a cubed is 3a's. So when we do that, we have 6a's altogether. So the shortcut is just use the power rule and multiply 3 times 2. But if you don't know the shortcut, you can do it the longer algebraic way. Here, we multiply our coefficients. So we've got 2 times 3 is 6, so these cancel. And then we add our exponents, x to the 5th. And again, this is because we're saying 2 times x times 3 times x, all these x's like this. So 2 times 3 is 6, x to the 5th. Here, the power rule is way easier, okay? We can multiply it out like this because this is saying that it's going on 3 times. But, and then we would add the exponents. 4 plus 4 plus 4 is 12. 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. So that's the longer way. That's only the medium way. There's a longer way after that. But the faster way is saying m to the 4th cubed times n squared cubed. 4 times 3 is 12. 2 times, oh, this should be a 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Power rule. Here, there's a lot going on. We're going to look at these as different ideas. We're going to look at this as one part of the problem, and this is the second. So we're going to take 9 p's. We're going to divide it by 4 p's. And then we're going to multiply it by 2 more p's. So we can cross these out. That gives us 5 p's left on the top, plus these 2 p's gives me p to the 7th. The other thing, because of order of operations, we could have done is we could have done p to the 9 minus 4, which gave us 5. And then we could have multiplied that by p squared, which is p to the 5 plus 2, which gives us p7. All right, these are basic, and they'll get harder. But again, we're building our knowledge. All right, now what we're going to be looking at is anything to the 0 power is 1. A million to the 0 power is 1. -5 to the 0 power is 1. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Anything to the first power is itself. And then sometimes we have to do additional multiplication, and anything to a negative power means write it as a fraction. So this is x to the 0 power. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Not 1 of itself, just 1. Here we've got 5x to the 0 plus 3. Well, x to the 0 is 1. So we have 5 times 1 plus 3. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 3 gives us 8. Here's some more exponents. Now, I use Canva to build this for you. I mean, I put all these questions in myself. Canva doesn't have a real simple fraction tool. So these slashes I'm using as fractions. But anyway, this is y to the -3. Here's a trick I tell my students. Anytime you see a negative, it's a hint to put a division symbol. And then you just put 1 over whatever it is. So this would simplify to letter D. Here, the 2 is being multiplied by the a to the -2. So the 2 doesn't go to the bottom. The only thing that goes to the bottom is the -2 is with the a. So that goes into the bottom. So when we simplify this, we get 2 over a squared. Now, this is not the right answer, but if it looked like this, then we would put the whole thing in the bottom because of this parenthesis. But it didn't have a parenthesis, so that's why that's the correct answer. All right, we don't even have to do any work. All of this is to the 0 power, and anything to the 0 power is 1. All right, here we've got a lot going on. We have m to the -2 times n cubed divided by n cubed. Well, right away for me, I'm just canceling those n cubes out. They're the same. So now I'm left with m to the -2. In math, we don't really like this. The way that it would be simplified is putting it over like this. So is C technically true? Yes. Is it the best answer? No, it's not simplified. All right, now we've got some more things going on. Here, I like to sometimes write each piece out individually because especially when we get to this one, it helps me remember to do the exponent. So I'm going to put x squared squared, y cubed squared, and then I've got times x to the -1. So 2 times 2 is 4, so this is x to the 4th. 3 times 2 is 6, this is y to the 6th. And then this times -1 is really the same thing as saying 1 over x. So now we can simplify it. We can say, all right, I'm going to cross this one out and take 1 away from here. And these are all being multiplied together. So I'm left with x cubed, y 6. All right, over here, again, I like to split these out because for me, it's easier to remember that I have to do each one of the factors has to be squared. So 3 squared is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. Multiply these, a to the 4th. Multiply these, b to the -2. Now this whole thing is to the -2. So my 9a to the 4th stays in the numerator and b squared would go in the denominator. This is the better correct answer, but in this case, we could put letter C. All right, next one, we've got 5 x's on the top. This says we have 3 x's in the bottom. And this says we have 2 more x's in the top. If it's positive, it's in the top. If it's negative, it's in the denominator. Cross 1, 2, 3. How many are left? 1, 2, 3, 4. X to the 4th. All right, lots of stuff going on here. So we've got m cubed squared times n squared squared, all of that divided by m to the 4th. They also could have written m to the negative fourth and it would have meant the same thing. So this gives me m6. This gives me 2 times 2, n4 over m4. There's more m's on the top than the bottom. How many more? There's 2 extra. 6 minus 4 is 2. So I'm left with m2, n4. Whew, my hand's getting tired. Let's go. Coefficients first. I don't have to separate them out because none of them are being multiplied to a power, so I can kind of work with it right in the problem. So 2 times 3 is 6. Remember, we add exponents. So 3 plus negative 1 gives me positive 2. Then I've got my y's. I've got a negative 2 and a positive 4, which gives me a positive 2. That's it. All right, here, look at all this crazy on top. So we're going to separate this out just to help remind us to do that. And then this whole thing is in parentheses, so that whole thing goes on the bottom. 4 times 3 is 12. And then, again, I love canceling. I think canceling makes the most sense. There's more x's on top. 12 x's on the top, 5 on the bottom. 12 minus 5 is 7. So these cancel out, and this becomes x7. Here, there's 6 y's on the top, 2 y's on the bottom. There's more y's on the top. 6 minus 2 makes this a 4. x7, y4, which is not one of the answers, so I'll have to remember to fix that. Oh my gosh, do you see what I did wrong? Oh, I'm going to let it go. Hopefully, I want you to be like, Doc, what were you thinking? I'm sorry I didn't hear you. I separated it out, but I did not separate it out correctly. I put a squared instead of a cubed. Come on, draw, man. This should have been cubed. So I had x12, y9 over x5, y2. So that still gives me x7, but it also gives me y7. It was weird because I was like, I thought I checked these after my other mess up. All right, now we're doing radicals. So let me go back up here just to remind you. You need to memorize these. Period. Get an app on your phone that talks about multiplication, and y'all got to memorize that. All these numbers is 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times itself is 16. That's all those numbers are. So having those in your head is super important. So when we come to these, anything under the radical, and again, this is hard to write in Canva, I put in parentheses. And I like to do those first if possible. So how many times can 4 go into 144? 4 can go into 14 3 times. With 2 left over, 4 can go into 24 6 times with 0 left over. So this is really saying, what's the square root of 36? If you did your multiplication facts, you know that 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times itself is 36. So the square root of 36 is 6. Basically, how multiplication and division are opposites, squaring and square rooting are opposites. Here comes the God, I'm so tired. We add it up. 49 and 32 gives me 1, carry the 1, 81. So we've got the square root of 81. Don't be tempted by that one. 9 times 9 is 81. That's our answer. All right, the square root of 121, if you know your multiplication facts, is 11. 11 times 11 is 121. 5 times 5 is 25. That's why these square roots come out. Here we're doing each one of these firsts, and then we're dividing by 4. The square root of 64 is 8. The square root of 16 is 4. And all of that is divided by 4. 12 divided by 4 gives us 3. Oh, we're doing perfect for time. Here, this whole thing is under the radical. Just because I couldn't do the radical, that's why it's in parentheses. So 100 minus 36 gives me, I think, 64. It's been a long day. Let me make sure. Yep, 64. So we've got the square root of 64 plus the square root of 25. The square root of 64 is 8. The square root of 25 is 5. Add those babies up. Here, I definitely don't feel like doing that in my head. Oh, I could have. 49, okay? So we've got the square root of 49 minus the square root of 9. Don't do the square root of 40. You got to do each idea as itself. 7 minus 3 gives us 4. More radicals. Now we have letters. So the trick with taking the square root of variables with exponents is if it's even, we divide by 2. If it's more than 2, then we have to look for the remainder, and the remainder stays inside. So in this case, I can go 2 goes into 6 3 times with a 0 remainder. So this just becomes x to the 6 divided by 2, which is 3, x cubed. Here, I can't do 2 into 1. I get a remainder 1. So this just stays the square root of y, which we write as 1/2 because we're dividing by 2. Here, I like to break these up. I've got the square root of a to the 4th and the square root of b squared. Half of 4 is 2, so I've got a2. Half of 2 is 1, so I've got b, a squared b. Here, this is a good one. There's 2 ways to write this. One way, this is the way they want you to write it, which is take m, multiply 3 times 1/2, and get 3/2. That is the correct answer. Another way that you could do it is like this. And so you would have m on the outside and m on the inside. M on the outside for this one, m on the inside for this one. All right, here we're going to break this up. Square root of 9 and square root of x squared. The square root of 9 is 3. Half of 2 is 1, so this just becomes 3x. Here we've got the square root of 16, the square root of x to the 5th, and the square root of y cubed. So this is 4. And let me just go over, I should have probably gone over this earlier. What this is saying is the square root of 5x's. We can bring these out into groups to put them outside, because this is like x squared, the square root of x squared, the square root of x squared, and the square root of x. So we know that 2 x's together gives us x's on the outside. So that's why we get the x squared, and that's why we have this extra one left. Same thing here. The square root of y cubed is there's 3 y's underneath. Well, we know that's the same thing as saying y squared and y. The square root of y squared is y, and 1y is left inside. So this is the correct answer. They want you to put, this is a really poorly written question. This is the one that they want you to write. But that is how we would do it if you were in advanced algebra. Oh, that's the end of exponents. Our next lesson is on polynomials and factoring. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful for you. The full course with another 700 questions and video answers is available at heydrtestprep.com for only $49 to get ready for the AFQT. Half of all proceeds support nonprofit initiatives with at least $10 of your purchase supporting troops and veterans. All right, bye guys. We got this.